Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the instant match reaction. Everton 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Everton fully spanked at Goodison Park. Well, the last time that happened was Chelsea, to be honest. But probably Ronald Koeman's worst performance as Everton manager today. Chelsea last year probably came close, but I suppose on that day we were playing away to a very good side before a lot of his new signings or before a lot of his team had bedded down. Today was just really shite. Let's be honest, it was absolutely awful. Although we didn't start awful, first 20-25 minutes, I thought we were okay. I thought we had a lot of possession. I thought we had a decent amount of control over the game. But I just think we've run out of ideas. Tossing the ball in the box and there was no one really in there to threaten. And I think Spurs just grew into the game and took control of it. And once they got control of it, certainly once they scored the first goal, then that was it. I thought Koeman's team selection today was very strange. Not starting Dominic Calvert-Lewin for me is just something you just can't do now. And it might seem strange, but you've got to have certain constants in this team. I've just been listening to the radio on the way home, the phone in, and one of the complaints was that we've tried to bring too many players into the club at once. Well, number one, I think we needed those players. But I do see some sense in what people are saying. We're trying to bed in a lot of new players at once. You know, Klassen, Sandro, Gylfi Sigurdsson just come into the team, even Wayne Rooney. I mean, there's four. Michael Keane and Pickford that take care of themselves. And Martin is just something else. But it's hard, there's four players in attacking areas that are trying to form a new attack for Everton. And essentially three of them play in the same position. And that's difficult. That's really difficult. And I think those players, certainly Klassen and maybe Sandro, need to be, you know, because not only are they new to the team, they're new to the Premier League, and maybe they need to be dipped in with a little bit more caution. Maybe the Europa League could be a good way of bringing them into the team. And I think on games like this today, you need to go with a little bit more tried and tested. We don't have a centre forward in the traditional sense, and I think that's a massive problem. We've got a player like Gylfi Sigurdsson that has tremendous dead ball ability and tremendous crossing ability. And if you've got someone in there, I mean, look at how we finished last season with Llorente the season. Threw the ball in, Llorente goal. We should have gone for Llorente. He'd be perfect. Giroud was obviously going to be the one that's perfect. But if you haven't got those players, you've got to go with what you've got. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is what we've got. You've got to start him in these games. You've got to start him up front. And you've got to let Sandro do his business outside the box and Rooney do it. Sandro today, I thought he looked okay. But he annoyed me so much because every time he was outside the box, and every time he'd get the ball, he'd lay it off. And then he'd just stand there and watch the cross get put in. How many times on corners was he standing on the corner of the box? Why wasn't he in there? Why isn't he busting a gut to be in there? And that to me shows that he's not a natural centre forward of sorts. He's someone who wants to do his work around the edge of the area. So after sort of 20 minutes of play today, the ball just kept on coming back and allowing Spurs to just build up attacks. Now they got very lucky with the goal, the first one. It's a fluke as far as I'm concerned, but it gives them a lead, and they never stop having control of the game from then on. You know, they scored the second goal, third very early in the second half. And then it could have been, you know what? Thankfully, they took their foot off the pedal because we were just all over the place. We just looked so disjointed. As I say, that midfield, it contains too many of the same players while trying to settle down. I'm not going to write off any players, bar maybe one, in this video. But you've got, as I said, you've got Klassen and Sigurdsson and Rooney, and they're all trying to play in that central area. Where's the width? Who provides the width in this team? Well, the fullbacks try and provide the width. And I understand that's probably why Martina played today, to provide that width. Gylfi was on the other side trying to get in front of Baines, because maybe Baines can't get as forward as much anymore. But where's the natural width? It just isn't there. The full-backs used to provide it. Bombing on, get into the box. Look at Koeman. No, he doesn't just throw a ball into the box. He'd keep going and play a little 1-2 and get himself into the box. We just don't have that, and we don't have Baines on the other side. That's a massive problem, and that's something. Look at Spurs today, how well they did from doing that. They were magnificent in the way their full-backs or their wing-backs got forward. They were brilliant. You know, they're a very, very good side. But I just thought Koeman got it completely wrong. And that's 4 games, I think, that in the Premier League that Koeman has got something wrong in. The first game of the season, we started the game and we looked an absolute mess. And then a change was made and we looked better. Man City, I thought we started the game really well. We had the tactics were spot on. But then the subs ruined it. And then against Chelsea last week, not starting Dominic Calvert-Lewin again was just 2 weeks ago. Just look, we were just again give us no focal point. And again today, I think he got it wrong again. Ashley Williams, I'd rather have Jags in there today. Jags has had 2 weeks off of doing nothing, feet up, probably getting a boss tan. He should have gone in there. Ashley Williams just played 2 games for Wales, and he shouldn't have started today. And I felt sorry for Michael Keane, because he looked all at sea because of what he had to his left and to his right. And I thought that unsettled him. And I just thought with Jagielka in there, he would have had a lot more of a calming influence. No, it was pitiful, really. Men against boys. And the mad thing is, this summer, the point of spending all that money was to get closer to Spurs. It was to get closer to Chelsea. And we look miles away. We look miles away. And as I say, I'm prepared to give these players time. But the manager has to take responsibility for that. And that for me is the problem. The manager is just throwing them all in. And I honestly don't think the manager knows what his best team is or what his best formation is. And that's a massive problem for me. You know, we've just come off the first bit of the season, we're into the second bit now. We've got Europa League coming up on Thursday, then we've got Man United, and then we've got Sunderland, and then we've got another Premier League, and it's going to be like that. And yes, that is going to help. But what's not going to help is if the manager doesn't understand how he wants to set up a team. If he's just throwing players in at certain positions without any idea. I mean, I honestly, today I don't know whether we had 4 centre-forwards or no centre-forwards. That's what, when I say centre-forwards, like 4 attacking players. There was no rhyme and reason, and I thought that exposed. I thought Garner did well for what he could do. I thought Sneijderlin was crap, but I just thought, again, he's looking for a bit of help, but I thought he was poor today. And we didn't look any better second half, really, even when we made the subs, because the damage had already been done. And the mad thing was, if we'd played the way we had first 20 minutes with a Calvert-Lewin on the pitch, second half, the chances would have been made, because he creates chances because he holds the ball up. And I think the manager's got to get it in his head. It's bad enough that we didn't get a centre-back in and it didn't get a centre-forward in. We've got what we've got now. So start using the players you've got more effectively. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to play in the Premier League because he knows what it's all about. Okay, Sandro could play behind him and could learn by playing that role. But we've got to start. He's got to come up with a way of playing that is more effective. And he's got to bed the players in. I appreciate that. But we've got the Premier League and the Europa League to do that. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that he doesn't know what system to play, or will change his system to go against the team rather than playing at home and go, no, what, today we're going to play this way because that's how we always play at home. Doesn't matter who we're playing against, that's how we're going to play. No. Let me just quickly touch on Martina, right? Because I know you go on, it depends how your outlook is. You either don't like him, or then there's people who don't like the people who don't like him and call people boo boys. For me, Martinez garbage, right? Can I just say that? I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with any of our players. I just think he's garbage. He put in a couple of good crosses in today. They're just aimless. And to be honest, they're pointless because we haven't got any tall attackers in there. And that's what I was saying before. We need fullbacks that drive into the box, not just throw balls into the box. Holgate can do that and can defend. But he's not good enough. And there'll be people out there going, oh, being too harsh on him. I've watched football long enough to know when someone's not good enough, and he is not good enough. His positional sense is absolutely abysmal. He stands, like, okay, today, right, At times he was a 2-on-1, but you've got to go with one of the men at least. He just stands there and throws his arms up there. The times he gets forward, he's not arsed about getting back. The second goal, please explain to me what he's doing. The ball's coming across and he just throws a leg. If he's got any kind of positional sense, he sees what's happening. He sees that danger early. And when that ball comes over, he does enough to deviate the path of it. He puts it out or puts his foot through it. He is not good enough. He is poor. And I thought today he was abysmal, truly abysmal. He just his positionals. He's like the Nias of right backs. Honestly, there might be a talent in there, but if you don't know where to run or where to stand, it's pointless. I'm not going to stop banging the drum for John Joe Kenny. I'm not, and I'm going to make it a point every week when we do the starting 11. He is going to be in our team because for me, he is the best right back for what we need. He can defend. He's tenacious. He's got a little bit of devilment in him. He gets forward and can get into the box. He wants to drive forward. And I think it's a joke that he's not anywhere near. It's a joke that he's not on the bench. It should be, Martina, I'm not saying you completely dismiss him. There's games when he can play, Europa League games. That's fine. But for me, John Joe Kenny needs to be in this team. And I think it's arrogance by the manager. Just arrogance, that's all it is. He wanted him, he wanted to sign him, free sign and sign. It's arrogance because nobody else sees what he sees in this player. When he left Southampton, the lad was bombed out because he's not good enough. And I won't stop saying that because he isn't. And all these people are like, oh, he does this and he does that. He's not, mate, he's crap. I've watched football long enough to know he's not good enough. Do you know what, today? If he was 2 versus 1, pick a man. And then you've got the right to moan at whoever should have been marking Dele Alli or whatever. You've got the right to have a go at them and say, where were you? Why weren't you covering? But he doesn't. He just stands in no man's land and lets the cross come over again and again and again. If the winger that you're supposed to be up against, because they were playing wing back, so that's all he had on his side, the wing back. So if they've got a wing back and that lad is just throwing the ball in, why aren't you blocking it? And that goes for any player. For the last 20 years, all I've watched is people throw crosses in because our fullbacks don't get out. And I'm sorry, he continues the trend. He's not good enough. And if he wasn't good enough and we had nobody else, I'd put my hands up and go, sound. But I think we have got someone good enough. And people can go, oh, how can you say that about John Joe Kenny? If you can see something in a player, like Tom Davies last year, if you can see something in a player, then you've got to give them a chance. And I just think he's not good enough. I'm not asked if people are watching this going, you're not being fair. You're letting Klassen get away with stuff, or you're letting this get. I've seen enough of Klassen to know he's a good player. He just maybe needs to be taken out the team at times and then brought into the teams and bedded into the way we're playing. Martinez, a right back, he's got nothing to do but defend and get forward. And okay, he can get forward all right. But you know what? I remember when Paul Holmes played for us, and I've never seen someone cross a ball as good as Paul Holmes. But could he defend? Could he shite? Simple as that. He's not at the level that we need. And I think the manager has been arrogant by not bringing in John Joe Kenny. So listen, it was appalling. It was a poor day at the office today. It was appalling at times. Players just didn't know what they were doing, didn't know what they looked like, they knew what they were doing. Let's hope we get it right. This team's got a lot of bedding in to do. But as I say, if the manager hasn't got a plan for how that's going to happen, then I'll be worried. But I'm not going to say, oh, the manager should be sacked. But I think the manager has got things wrong in every Premier League game today, and this season, and that worries me to a point. I'm not someone who's going to say I got burned by the last manager because I loved them, and then I hated them. I refuse to do that with Koeman. I'm trying to be as impartial as possible and see it for what it is. And I just think so far this season in the Premier League, he's got it all wrong. I really think he has. So. Yeah, really bad today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Anything I've missed out, anyone who I should be talking about, anyone I've mentioned who was terrible, that was good, or anyone I've said was good, that was terrible. So let me know in the comments. Make sure to look out for Baz's instant reaction. His player rating should be amazing. I think he might be in the minuses today. Maybe could be in the minuses today. And what I will say is maybe if Jordan Pickford wasn't in goal, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. He made some cracking saves today. Yeah, it was crap. Thanks for watching Toffee TV, and I'll see you later.